Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog. Breaking news, everybody. There have been some more firings in the Toronto Blue Jays management and coaching staff. However, it's not necessarily to the guy that I think a lot of you were hoping for. We're going to break down who has been let go on this Toronto Blue Jays coaching staff, and then also kind of relate it to the top, to Ross Atkins, to Mark Shapiro. How do these guys keep getting away with this? We are recycling the exact same formula that we did last year and hoping for different results. Maybe this season will be different, or maybe this offseason will be different. I'm not sure. We're going to break all that down and more, but before we do, hit the like, smash the subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts down below. So let's first discuss, you had Guillermo Martinez yesterday. That was like the breaking news last night, and I think we can all agree Guillermo Martinez, the hitting coach, probably had to go. This morning, we got the breaking news that Gil Kim, whom I'll be completely honest, not super familiar with.
Does anyone know what a field coordinator is? If you do, please let it be known in the chat.
Probably him and Don Mattingly get together a lot. They talk about the field and then coordinating the offense on
they go coordinate. Coordinate.
Yeah.
They just that's all they say all day.
Good job. So they probably work very closely together. He is now gone, or excuse me, that might not necessarily be true.
I don't know what gender they are, because I don't think I've ever seen them.
Right.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
Sorry,
couldn't tell you. And then you have Jeff Ware right there, the assistant pitching coach, who won't be back on the major league staff. Now, I said that they're gone. They might be gone. They might not be, because they're actually getting reassignments, both of them. So they're probably going to be in the Blue Jays organization somewhere, just not necessarily up with the Toronto Blue Jays, but could be doing something with Buffalo, could be doing something elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Shai says here, club is working on potential reassignments for both of them, and as well, David Howell, who's also going to get relocated, who is also the pitching strategist on the Toronto Blue Jays. And also note that you also, Jeff Ware, he is the bullpen coach. So if you really want to pinpoint where they're kind of targeting areas of this ball team, they're targeting the strategy, they're targeting the bullpen, and they're targeting whatever a field coordinator is. And yeah, they're going to be relocated like we kind of predicted to another part of the organization. So a softer firing, I guess, as you will.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time that we've seen this, right? We saw this exact same thing happen a year ago. It was, I believe his name was Dave Hudgens. Who was, dealing with all of the hitting and everything like that. And, he was...
He was the assistant hitting coach.
Yes, exactly. Assistant to Guillermo Martinez. But I still remember he was live tweeting directly before a baseball game happened, which was extremely questionable. And I'm sure that, he didn't do a great job at his job if that's literally what he was doing right, 5 minutes prior to a game. He was relocated last year. Now we're taking like the minor step up here, and we are going to Guillermo Martinez and then also relocating these guys right here. And I think that it begs the question, how do we keep doing the same shit over again? I see the first comment right here from Bush Party 72 on Shai Davidi's thing, and he's saying, how does Pete Walker continue to get a free pass? Now, Pete Walker, I mean, you can say a bunch of different things about him, but I think my question is, like, sub in Ross Atkins there. How does Ross Atkins continue to get a free pass, and how is it that we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is, we're going to do these, like, soft firing, soft relocations. Feels like that's the way that we're going to be attacking this offseason once again.
Well, I mean, Nick, you kind of explained everything right there. Like, that's pretty much it. I mean, look, Ross Atkins, he obviously is the person to be blamed here, because if you look at what's been going on in the last few years, we could really break it down here, everybody. So, yeah, you've got the bullpen coach and the strategy coach getting fired. Well, who is the person that's supposed to provide the resources to make that happen? It's Ross Atkins. There's a lot of factors that went into play this season. You had Jordan Armado go down with an injury. You had Eric Swanson and his son. That whole situation happened. And then Eric Swanson gets injured, gets off to a late start. You even had Kevin Gausman get off to a late start in the starting rotation. So obviously that was a bit of a bump too. Then you had a ton of underperformances going on throughout the entire season. And then when you had all these holes, what did Ross Atkins do? He didn't really go and make any necessary trades. It was still early in the season. We were losing a bit. But in that part, this feels like a really quick kind of relocation or firing where, yeah, we had one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball, but also it was your fault because you didn't provide the necessary depth for this team. You look over at Guillermo Martinez, and I kind of explained this last night on our live stream. Well, you didn't actually provide the guys in the lineup the last 2 years. You actually traded away and got rid of a ton of players where Guillermo Martinez was succeeding. Teoscar Hernandez, Marcus Semien, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. You can go on and on down that list. And there was a lot of success on that Blue Jays team back in 2021. You look at the guys they brought in since then. You brought in Brandon Belt for 1 year, Justin Turner for 1 year. IKF was actually pretty good, but good for IKF standards, not good for going and providing a lot of production in that lineup. You actually didn't do anything to go and provide this team with an opportunity to win. So these guys, as bad as they are, and I will agree, like, people need to get fired for not providing the best quality out of our players. But it's also going to be blamed on you because you didn't do your job to begin with, and now these guys, for lack of a better term, are basically the scapegoat for you not doing your good job. What do you think about
for lack
that?
Of a better term, I think that's the best term, really. Like, I do think that that's what we're seeing here, and I want to be very clear that I agree Guillermo Martinez probably needed to go. I'm not extremely familiar with Gil Kim, but I would imagine Jeff Ware deals a lot with the bullpen. Probably whoever's dealing with the bullpen needs to go as well. So I think that these were necessary moves, but I agree with you in the sense that this feels like a bit of a scapegoat, and I think it's because we're not expecting a whole lot else. Like, if this is what you're starting with, come Wednesday, I don't expect us to see a big John Schneider firing or a Ross Atkins, resignation or anything like that.
It feels like they're protecting their guys. I mean, just like Bush Party in the chat was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're protecting the Pete Walkers, who's been around for a long, long time. They're going to protect John Schneider because they like him. They're going to protect themselves too. And it feels like that's the way it's going to go. And they're going to keep blaming everybody else for their lack of competence.
And when they get asked the questions on Wednesday, this is coming out on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they're going to be having their whole end of year presser. When they get asked the questions about, what are you gonna, what are you doing to make this team better? What are your plans and everything like that? I honestly think that they're just doing all of this so that they can immediately respond with that and go, look, we're making all of these big time internal moves and everything like that. And to their credit, yes, Guillermo Martinez needed to go, and we are doing things, but this is not like, I think, the winning formula here. Like, I saw somebody respond to we were tweeting out yesterday about how Guillermo Martinez got let go and everything like that, and they're like, great, we did it all, on to the World Series.
I almost think they're being sarcastic.
Of course they're being sarcastic.
Okay, I thought you were being,
No. Of course they are being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that I genuinely believe that that's what Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro expect us to buy into, which is bullshit.
I think what we're alluding to is that it's not just these guys. It's Ross Atkins, it's Mark Shapiro, it's everybody that needs to be blamed, but they're the guys that are the ones in charge. And it feels like they're not going to be let go, or Mark Shapiro's not going to let Ross Atkins go, or whatever, or Rogers ain't going to let Mark Shapiro go until it gets really, really bad. And at that point, the Blue Jays are going to be absolutely in the tank this season and for the future seasons to come. Feels like they're going to let that happen before they try and save this ball team.
All right, so I agree with you. I do think that, honestly, like, this is something, but it's not really where this team needs to go. But we are now starting to buy into the fact that Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro are going to be staying put, and most likely, unless there is like some crazy update, John Schneider will also be in his role as well, walking in to 2025. All that being said, it's going to take me a long time to jump back on to the Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, all of these, because now I'm lumping them in as one group. I really do look at them as...
It's like the popular kids in high school.
Yeah,
they're like, I don't know what it is. Like, they're protected. I don't know.
Yeah, and whatever, right? Like, they're one group, even though they're two separate guys, like, it really is one brain. So let's just, that management right there, what do we need to see from them? Like, literally, step by step, what do they need to say on Wednesday? What do they need to immediately do for us to even begin to buy back in on the vision of these guys and the capabilities for them to continue to run this team, and hopefully to a successful place one day?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's going to be a long road. It's going to start with Wednesday, too. I need to hear accountability. That's not going to save my opinion of them at all, but I need to hear, like, yeah, it was my fault, it was our fault for not building the roster, and because of that, we are now going to take the necessary actions we're going to increase our spending this offseason. We've let down the Blue Jay fans, so we know that we need to go and actually do our job in getting better talent on this team, proven veteran guys like Kevin Gosman alluded to just a few days ago. Go get a few bats. We want to go. We know the bullpen. They have to acknowledge things, right? We know the bullpen is an absolute shambles. We're going to do everything in our power to go get multiple guys in the pen that are proven every day. They need to give me the plan, which is what we've been saying for months on this channel. Give me the plan. That's step number one. Then you need to sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr. before free agency opens up after the World Series, after 5 days after the World Series. You need to give that guy an extension, because when you go into free agency, you're going to need to show free agents, hey, this is our clear vision. We started with our core guy, Vladdy. This is going to be the root of our team for the next 10 years.
And also, to that point, if you're talking to big-time free agents, I mean, you got to know what your budget is as well, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. should be a large part of that,
Should be the large part of the budget. So if your budget's increasing, because, I mean, if you look at what we spent last year, what was it, $45 million? Vladdy's going to take a large chunk of that. So that's why, number one, that budget needs to be going up.
It needs
this
to
offseason.
increase. It does, yeah.
Absolutely. And so you go into the free agency pool, you go get those core pieces, a bat or two. Hell, I need 2 bats, because we're looking at back in 2021. You had Teoscar Hernandez, like I mentioned, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Marcus Semien. Those are some key pillars.
And that was
we
when
lost.
we had Bo Bichette performing at Bo Bichette's level.
And
George Springer
Springer
was doing really good,
Yep.
right? So yeah, we need multiple different bats right there. And of course, you already talked about the bullpen.
Yep.
Like for me, it's you got to have several different additions there. And I want to be very clear as well, folks. Like, my opinion, and I know Adam's opinion as well, they could come out and, they could get on their hands and knees and, literally beg for our forgiveness on Wednesday. And but even if it did, my opinion of you is not changing on Wednesday. There's nothing that you can say or do on Wednesday, Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, that will get me to buy back in.
Time for a quick shout out to Betway. Betway is the best place to make all of your sports bets on all of your favorite teams. Betway is in collaboration with iGaming Ontario, so you must be 19 years or older to participate. You can also scan the QR code to make your account today. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
This is going to be a long road where I need to see actionable changes happening internally, the way that we do everything. Everything's got to change. This is why I don't believe it's going to, because there's a lot of different steps that need to happen here.
And I don't even think they're going to lay out the plan on the line there, because what would that create? That would create accountability, because if you didn't go out and do it, then you're surely going to get fired.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the kind of GM that I want, and president that I want. Is I want someone who's going to hold themselves accountable and be like, look, if I didn't go out and do what I said I was going to do, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
And yes, but Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins aren't going to do that, because they would never. They want to protect themselves. So that's why I don't think they're going to do that. And I think more likely than not, we're going to be way more upset than happy.
No, I agree with you. And I think, honestly, come Wednesday, right, like which we're going to be live for, everybody. We're going to be live reacting to that. I think that these guys right here, like Sucks to Suck, Gil Kim, Jeff Ware, and Guillermo Martinez, you guys are going to get thrown under the bus.
Yep.
We saw it last year where Ross Atkins, in panic mode, just started throwing John Schneider under the bus.
Yep.
Well, guess what? Now they've planned ahead.
Yep,
Now they've made some firings prior to this, so we have scapegoats that we don't even give a fuck about anymore.
Yep.
They're not we're not paying them anymore. They're not going to be on this team. I don't need to see them every day. We can throw these guys under the bus with absolutely no repercussions. I think that's exactly what's going to happen come Wednesday. You're going to hear Jeff Ware and Guillermo Martinez's name come up time and time again about how, we got to completely change up our offensive outlook on things. Guillermo, we're bringing in new hitting coaches. The whole bullpen, that was mismanaged. This guy's fault. This, honestly, I really do believe, that's why they're getting fired right now.
Yes.
Just to save their asses come Wednesday.
Just to save their asses, which I think we're all going to read through the bullshit, because like I mentioned before, it's not about them entirely. It's about you and your management of this roster, and everyone's going to see through your bullshit, so don't be tricked, guys, come Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly, right. Guys, let us know in the comments down below, what do you think about all of this right now? What are the necessary moves that you need to see Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro make to hop back onto their train? Hit that like, smash the subscribe button, and $3 a month become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patreon members and our YouTube members too. We appreciate every single one of you.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!